There has been some international commentary about the situation in Ferguson, Missouri, and one of the public figures who has decided to kind of chime in on what's going on is Ayatollah Khamenei from Iran, of course. And he wanted to comment specifically on our issue with race relations here in the United States. And he did so in a series of tweets that I want to share with you guys. And then maybe we can have a discussion as to whether or not these tweets are warranted. So one of the tweets he puts out says the following: racial discrimination is still a dilemma in the United States. And then he used the hashtag Ferguson, which I find really fascinating, especially for the Ayatollah. But it's an interesting point. He uses that imagery. One says, "You are not alone in your complaint against the oppressive government of the United States. The U.S. has oppressed many nations, hashtag Ferguson." In another tweet, he says, "Based on global statistics, U.S. government is the biggest violator of human rights. Besides international crimes, it commits crimes against its people, hashtag Ferguson." And I want to stop right there. Cenk, jump in. What do you think? Do you feel that he's justified in tweeting these things out?
All right, first of all, let's establish that it's not the actual Ayatollah on the tweeter, as Rick Perry would say. He's like, "What is that Twitter? Somebody gets me on the goddamn Twitter. I got to do a hashtag Ferguson." Okay.
Or now, hashtag human rights.
Right. Yeah, I know. The Ayatollah is huge on hashtag human rights.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously somebody in his office, and obviously they're trying to poke at us when we're having issues. Now, some of the things he stated are true. We have not gotten past all of our racial problems in America. Okay, so now conservatives will take that. The Young Turks agree with the Ayatollah, all right? All right, but Hitler could say that the sky is blue. It doesn't make the sky red. Okay, Hitler's a bad guy, and he happened to say something that was correct, right? So now, in this case, he's right to point out some of our civil rights issues and our human rights violations, and especially as someone who's opposing us in talks related to his nuclear program, he's going to want to do that, like, haha, got you on this. Like, you keep criticizing me on human rights, but you do this. Now, on the other hand, is he want to talk about human rights? Of course not. Of course not, right?
So I think that these tweets are 100% justified. And there was a state commission media in China that also did something similar, which we'll get to in a second. And the reason why I say he's justified is because as the United States, we live in this massive glass house, and we're constantly judging the human rights violations of other countries. Before we do so, I think that we should reflect on the human rights violations in our own country, not only domestically, but through our foreign policy. I mean, we're doing drone strikes. We're going off and we're killing innocent civilians, and we judge other countries. And that's not to say that what other countries are doing is okay or that I agree with it. It's just saying that we need to focus on human rights violations here first before we can judge others. So I like that the Ayatollah in this case is pointing his finger at us and saying, hey, you better fix your face, because it's true.
So I would do both. I would call out their human rights abuses and fix our own.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So I don't mind a drone strike against bin Laden. I mind a drone strike when we strike a wedding and then say, oh no, but we're the good guys, so it's okay. That's a theory they call here in America, American exceptionalism. So we're so exceptional, we're allowed to bomb weddings because that means we're moral anyway. We're so moral, it was obviously a mistake. Well, don't keep making that mistake. Yeah. Then we're beginning to wonder if it really was a mistake. Not that we intended to bomb a wedding, but that we don't really care. Oh, I heard a cell phone was there. I got a signature from that cell phone, so I hit it. Oh, it turned out to be a wedding. I don't care. Yeah. Right? So that's what we got to fix first.
Yeah.
So the Ayatollah criticizes us for dividing people based on race, when it's obvious that we should be dividing people based on religion, like he does.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Both parties are wrong. You know, both parties are guilty of doing the exact same thing.
Right.
So, I mean, yes, you can judge one another, but at the same time, you can't pretend as though your actions are moral or justified.
Yes, especially when you have people called the morality police that literally go around assaulting women and sometimes men if they are doing quote-unquote immoral things in the middle of the street. So I would prefer that the criticism came from a little bit more of a source that we could trust and is not the enormous hypocrite that Ayatollah Khamenei is.